Guys, like, have you ever heard something so crazy, so out there that you just knew it had to be fake? Like, no way it could be true, right? But then, what if it was? What if the craziest story, the most insane theory you'd ever heard, turned out to be real? We're talking government cover-ups, unexplained events, things people swore were just myths. Until bam, the truth smacks you in the face like a pallet of Jeffree Star's makeup collection falling from the sky. Seriously, some of the stuff we're about to unpack is wild. From bizarre things in the sky to mysteries in the deep blue sea, these 7 cases were laughed at, dismissed, basically thrown in the trash like yesterday's conspiracy theories. But guess what? They turned out to be true. And the last one? Oh my god. It's going to blow your mind. Buckle up, bros and babes, because things are about to get weird. Okay, let's start with a classic. Roswell, New Mexico, 1947. Picture it, dusty desert, weird lights in the sky, and then boom! Something crashes. Naturally, everyone freaks out. The military shows up in those black SUVs, you know the ones I'm talking about, looking all secretive. They tell everyone it was just a weather balloon. A weather balloon? In this economy? But the people of Roswell, they weren't buying it. They saw the debris, the weird metal that you couldn't bend or break. And the stories. Oh, honey. The stories. People started whispering about strange creatures, bodies being whisked away, and whispers of a government cover-up. For years, Roswell was the UFO hotspot. People were seeing lights, feeling weird energy, you name it. The government kept denying it, of course, but we all know how they are with the truth, right? Like, they're shiftier than a shady psychic trying to sell you a $50 crystal ball. Now, I'm not saying I believe in aliens, but I'm not saying I don't believe in aliens. What I do know is that something weird went down in Roswell. Whether it was a weather balloon, a top-secret government project, or something even crazier. Well, I guess that's for you to decide. Alright, let's rewind to the 1970s, a time of bad hair, even worse fashion, and political scandals that would make your wig fly off. I'm talking about Watergate, baby. This wasn't just some shady backroom deal. This was a full-on conspiracy that went straight to the top. It all started with a break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate Hotel. At first it seemed like a minor thing, some clumsy burglars trying to steal some office supplies or something, but then things got juicy. 2 reporters, Woodward and Bernstein, they were like the original internet sleuths, started digging around, they followed the money, they talked to shady sources, they basically lived and breathed this case, and guess what they found? A whole lot more than stolen staplers, let me tell you. Turns out, the break-in was connected to President Richard Nixon himself. They had tapes, guys, actual recordings of him talking about covering up the whole thing. It was like a real-life House of Cards, but with worse haircuts and way more paranoia. Watergate proved that even the most powerful people in the world aren't above the law. Or a good old-fashioned takedown by some nosy journalists. It's a story about lies, betrayal, and the importance of speaking truth to power. Plus, it gave us all a reason to side-eye anyone with a Nixon campaign button. Okay, get ready for this one because it's about to get weird. We're going to Siberia, 1908, to talk about an event so mysterious, so unexplained, that it still has scientists scratching their heads. I'm talking about the Tunguska event, and trust me, you're going to want to hear this. Imagine this. A massive explosion rips through the Siberian wilderness. Trees are flattened for hundreds of miles, the ground shakes like an earthquake, and the sky lights up brighter than 1,000 suns. It was so powerful that people felt it all the way in Europe. So what caused this epic blast? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The most popular theory is that a meteor exploded in the atmosphere. But here's the thing, there's no impact crater, like at all. It's like the meteor just vanished into thin air, leaving behind nothing but destruction and a whole lot of questions. Some people think it was a comet, which is basically a giant snowball in space. Others think it was a secret government weapon test gone wrong. And then there are the truly out-there theories like aliens, black holes, you name it. The Tunguska event is like a giant cosmic question mark. It's a reminder that for all our scientific advancements, there are still some things we just can't explain. And honestly, that's what makes it so fascinating. Chapter 4. The Bermuda Triangle, where legends go to disappear. Okay, let's dive into one of the most infamous stretches of water on the planet, the Bermuda Triangle. You know the stories, ships vanishing without a trace, planes disappearing into thin air, compasses going haywire. It's the stuff of nightmares and cheesy made-for-TV movies, but is there any truth to the legend? The Bermuda Triangle is this area in the North Atlantic Ocean roughly bounded by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. It's like the Bermuda Triangle of bad luck, am I right? For centuries, people have been reporting strange occurrences in this area. Ships going missing, sometimes with no distress call, no wreckage, nothing. Planes disappearing from radar, never to be seen again. Now, some people say it's all just a bunch of overblown stories, coincidences blown out of proportion by the media. And sure, some of the disappearances can be explained by bad weather, human error, the usual suspects. But then, there are the cases that just don't add up. The ships that vanished in perfect weather, the experienced pilots who suddenly went radio silent, the compasses that spun wildly for no reason. It's enough to make you wonder if there's something else going on, something we just don't understand. Is it magnetic anomalies? Underwater methane eruptions? A portal to another dimension? Or maybe, just maybe, something even stranger? The Bermuda Triangle is a mystery wrapped in an enigma served with a side of "I'm never getting on a boat again." Chapter 5 MKUltra, the CIA's mind control experiments. Okay, buckle up because this next one is straight out of a sci-fi horror movie. We're talking about MKUltra, the CIA's top secret mind control program. I know, it sounds too crazy to be true, but trust me, the truth is often stranger than fiction. Imagine a world where the government is secretly experimenting on its own citizens, trying to control their minds, their thoughts, their very actions. Sounds like something out of a Black Mirror episode, right? Well, that was the reality of MKUltra. Starting in the 1950s, the CIA was obsessed with mind control. They wanted to create the perfect spies, soldiers who would obey any order, assassins who wouldn't remember their missions. And they were willing to do whatever it took to get there. We're talking about some seriously messed up stuff. They were dosing people with LSD, hypnotizing them, using electroshock therapy, sensory deprivation, you name it. They even experimented on their own agents, sometimes without their knowledge or consent. It wasn't until the 1970s that the truth about MKUltra started to come out, and when it did, it was a scandal of epic proportions. It showed just how far the government was willing to go in the name of national security, even if it meant violating the basic human rights of its own citizens. Chapter 6. The Loch Ness Monster, Legend or Reality. Let's head to the Scottish Highlands, a land of misty lochs, ancient castles, and of course the legend of the Loch Ness Monster. You know Nessie, right? The giant creature said to lurk in the depths of Loch Ness. Some people think it's a dinosaur, others think it's a giant eel, and some even think it's a magical creature. For centuries, people have been reporting sightings of Nessie. There have been blurry photos, sonar readings, and eyewitness accounts from people who swear they saw something big and mysterious in the water. Now I know what you're thinking, Shane, you're not actually buying into this, are you? And listen, I'm the first one to admit that a lot of the evidence for Nessie is pretty flimsy. Like that famous photo, turns out it was a hoax. And a lot of the sightings can probably be explained away as waves, logs, or just plain old imagination. But still, there's a part of me that wants to believe. Maybe it's the romantic in me, or maybe it's just the fact that I love a good mystery, but the idea that there's this giant unknown creature swimming around in a loch in Scotland, that's just too good to resist. Chapter 7. The Simulation Theory. Is this life even real? Okay guys, I've saved the best for last. Brace yourselves, because this one is going to bend your mind. We're talking about the simulation theory, the idea that we're all living in a giant computer simulation. I know, it sounds like something out of the Matrix, but hear me out. Think about how far technology has come in the last few decades. We've got virtual reality, artificial intelligence, video games that look more real than real life. So, is it really that much of a stretch to think that maybe, just maybe, our entire reality is a simulation created by some advanced civilization? Some of the smartest people in the world, like Elon Musk and Neil deGrasse Tyson, have said that the simulation theory is a real possibility. They point to things like the bizarre laws of quantum mechanics, the vastness of the universe, and the fact that we haven't found any other intelligent life yet as evidence that we might be living in a simulated world. Now, I'm not saying I'm 100% convinced, but think about it. If we are living in a simulation, who created it? What's the purpose? And what happens when they decide to hit the off switch? The simulation theory is one of those things that makes you question everything you thought you knew about reality. It's mind-blowing, it's terrifying, and it's impossible to ignore. The truth is out there, maybe. Oh my god, you guys, I need a nap after all that, my brain is officially fried. But seriously, how crazy are those stories? It just goes to show that you should never dismiss anything as impossible, no matter how outlandish it seems. The truth can be stranger than fiction, and sometimes, the craziest theories turn out to be true. So the next time you hear something that sounds totally bonkers, don't be so quick to judge. You never know, it might just change the way you see the world. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go stare at a wall and try to process the fact that we might all be living in a giant computer simulation. See you later.